Hi everyone, my name is Riya Tayapanathal and I'll be presenting the literature review on the topic video compression using deep neural network. So these are the papers that I've selected for doing the study. So talking a little bit about video compression, it is the process of encoding a video file in such a way that it consumes less space than the original file and is easier to transmit over the internet. It is a type of compression technique that reduces the size of the video file format by eliminating redundant and non-functional data from the original video file. Video compression is performed through a video codec that works on one or more compression algorithms. Usually, video compression is done by removing repetitive images, sounds, or scenes from a video. For example, a video may have the same background image or sound played several times, or the data displayed with video file is not that important. So the video compression will remove all such data to reduce the video file size. So now we'll see how the traditional video compression is being done, like the algorithms that are being used, and then we'll see how the deep neural network can be used to improve the performance of the traditional methods. Generally, video codecs exploit the spatial and temporal redundancy within and across the video frames in order to achieve a high compression efficiency. So there are three frame types that are used in the existing video codecs. So the first one is iframe, which is basically like the least compressible and it is independent of other frames. Then we have P-frame, which extrapolates from the past frames, and B-frame, which interpolates from the past transmitted frames. That is, it actually sees both past and the future. It's like the previous frame and the next frame. So these frames are basically being generated by the following steps. So first is we estimate the motion between a current frame and the previously encoded frame. So the motion of the group of pixels or the frame as a whole are usually in the same direction and thus highly compressible. So in other words, if we take two frames, there will be not much of a difference between the frames, just a slight minor difference in motion. So since there is only this slight bit of difference, we can remove the unwanted redundancy and thereby compress the file. Followed by this is compensation, which is where the pixels or let's say blocks of previously transmitted frames are spatially shuffled according to the motion in the previous step on the frame so that the resulting predicted frame best matches the current frame, and their difference, which is called the residue, is sparse, and this residue is highly compressible. After that, the obtained motion and the residue can be represented with fewer number of bits, and this step includes transformation, quantization, and entropy coding. So this is the basic procedure that is being followed by every video compression technique. And now there are traditional compression algorithms that are being used, which is H.264 or H.265. So H.264 is also called as advanced video coding, and H.265 is also known as high efficiency video coding. So since HEVC is a little more later version or the latest version, so we'll be looking further into that, maybe a small detail before we move on to the deep learning. HEVC or high efficiency video coding is the latest video coding standard that is being followed by the video coding experts group and moving picture experts group. So in HEVC, each frame is basically broken down. So the first step is the partition. So each frame gets broken down into blocks and a coding tree unit gets generated. So this is the example of a coding tree. So each block can be of the size 16 by 16 pixels. At the max, it can be 64 by 64 pixels. And it can have a combination of inter and intra-coded blocks. So inter-coded blocks are basically, it tells you the correlation between the pixels of two different frames, and intra-coded block basically tells you the difference or the correlation between the pixels within the same frame. So these blocks are generated during the process of intra-coding and intercoding. So the coding tree unit is distributed into coding units, which gets further distributed into prediction units. So this each step, there's an entire procedure that gets followed. So initially the partition, like I had explained, and after that it is being followed by, so once the inter and intra prediction is being done, we subtract that prediction from the unit. Followed by that is transforming and quantizing the residual, which is the difference between the original picture unit and the prediction. After that, entropy encoding of the transform output, the prediction information, the mode information, and the headers is being done. And then we get a compressed HEVC video. Once it's being transmitted, then at the decoding side, where first the entropy gets decoded and we extract the elements of the coded sequence. Followed by that is rescaling and inverting the transform stage. Then we predict each unit and add the prediction of the output to the inverse transform, followed by reconstructing the entire video sequence. So this is the standard procedure that is being followed for the compression and then transmitting that video across the internet. So this hybrid coding this architecture that is being followed by H.265, despite of the efficient compression performance, the modules that they use aren't jointly optimized to achieve the maximum performance. So this is the reason why deep learning or the deep learning neural network is being introduced to improve the performance of the codecs or the algorithms. In the deep neural network, the process of encoding and decoding the image is somewhat similar to HEVC. The only difference is how the reconstructed image is being generated. So in this case, with the network training, we have the original image, which is XN, and it is regarded as the input, which is being compressed by the neural network encoder. And then the output we have is YN, which is the reconstructed image that will be generated by the neural network's decoder. The objective of the training is to minimize the loss function. That is, this is the loss function where we have n is our batch size. This n represents the batch size. So here they have used an optimizer ADA delta, which is an adaptive learning rate method to make fast conversions and generate the pre-training model first after 100 epochs. So to conclude, the reason why deep neural networks is being used here is because of, firstly, higher gains. So there are two measures to measure the quality of the image after it's being reconstructed. So one is peak signal to noise ratio and next is the structural index similarity. So since these values are high, which means that the quality of the video is being maintained after the compression is being done. And also that even though the efficiency of the compression matches with the existing technologies, they were still being able to achieve it with minimal loss of information. So these are the reasons why deep learning neural network is being used now to improve the video compression techniques. Thank you. Any questions?